Welcome all. Namasarvebhya. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahmavidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsharishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashikritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murtiveda Vivagine Vyomavat Vyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Hari Tat Sat. So we have been proceeding with the mantras of Kathopanishad, and we completed the first three valleys of first chapter. We are entering the second chapter with the next three valleys. He has explained in the last class, in the last statement from the Upanishad for the first chapter, third valli, Nachiketam upakhyanam mrutyupoktam sanatanam uktva shrutva cha medavi brahmaloke mahiyate. Was the indication saying, some said that Nachiketa Upakhyanam is over here. But then, if you see the mantras which are coming now from now onwards, Yama is reiterating to Nachiketa, Etad Vaitat, what you asked is indeed this. That you can hear in the mantras which are coming, which means that even though the Muni or the Rishi of the Upanishad have not referred to Yama and Nachiketa in these chapters which are coming, but it is indeed a reply to Nachiketa's question, which was the third question, what is that? Which some people say is existing after death, and some others say there is nothing left after death. So what is that? So for which Yama, after having given the beautiful what are the methods and that some example of how to do a meditation, how to use your own body as an example for a journey towards achieving the goal. The chariot example was discussed in the last chapter. Now here is further into the same subject but in a different methodology is what here we can see in this. The first mantra says that Paranchikani Vyadranat Swayambhu Tasmat Parang Pashyati Nandaratman Kaschiddeeraha Pratyakatmanamakshat Avrta Chakshu Amrudattvamichan. Paranchikani Vyadranat Swayambhu Tasmat Parang Pashyati Na Andaratman Kaschit Dheeraha Pratyak Atman Aikshada Avrta Chakshuhu Amrudatvam Ichan. These are the words which is there in the mantra. Swayambhu means the creator, the one who creates of himself. Swayam means self. Bhu means to become or to create. So here we have to understand the word when he said Swayambhu, the word mantra used in the Upanishad has got a very, very important meaning is that it is referring to another mantra from the Taittiriya Upanishad. So kamayata bahusyam prajayeti. He willed to become many, that he himself became many. So here also he is saying Swayambhu. So what does it mean? That it is one which has appeared to have become many. Ajayamano bahuda vijayate. Even though not created as many, it appears to have become many. That is the word Swayambhu. Now the word Vyadranat in the typical language is indicating destroyed or nullified or created for. It is become a incapable equipment type of a thing. Vyadranat. Khani is sense organs. Paranchi means looking outward. Achi, achi. Para plus anchu dhatu. Anchu means extrovert. Tasmat pashyati na antaratma. Therefore, it cannot see the inner self. Kashchid dhiraha, some intelligent one. Amrutatvam ichan, with the desire of immortality, chakshuhu avritta aikshad atmanam, pratyagatmanam. By turning inward his vision, he saw the inner self, pratyagatmanam, aikshata. Now, paranchikani vetranat swayambhu, when the creator became the objects and the subject which we are individually, each one of us are, the sense organs through which the interaction with the world outside has to happen was destroyed or made incapable of looking inward and therefore destroyed. Seeing only it can see outward. That is why the Rishi says it is destroyed. The sense organs were destroyed at the time of creation because it cannot see 360 degrees. It can only see outward. So when it is directed outwards, it is not able to see inward. When it is turned outward, that is very important. Because subsequently he says, Avritta Chakshu. Here, Avritta Chakshu doesn't mean the eyes only, the vision only. It is that here the Chakshu stands for the experience. The one looking for the experience from within. Kaschid Dhiraha, not everyone. Kaschid, the word Kaschid has got a very important connotation here, is that by default, all of us are looking outward and we are engaged in the sense objects outside, like the horses of that example where it is said, no, it is looking outward. The mind is only one which is able to control it, and the intellect is required to direct it. So using the same example of the Ratha Kalpana or the chariot example of the previous Valli, the Avritta Chakshu here is directly saying that the experiences which we are getting from outside is meaningful to us as an inner self. The objects are outside. How an object which is distinct and different from me is making an experience to us through the sense organs is not a question which anybody and everybody asks. We are able to see things outside and we accept the things are seen are the things which we are seeing. But there is something called the experience of seeing, experience of hearing, experience of touch and all those other senses, 5 senses. So when we have a complete experience of anything external, we are having the experience within us while the object is external to us. How does this happen? Not anyone and everyone inquires into this aspect of how does object outside become experiences to me. Including when I say object outside, we should also take our emotions, mentals and emotion, thoughts and feelings also, because that also is known to us as things happening in the mind level. So when we are not able to understand why an object outside should give me happiness or sorrow, the same object sometimes gives happiness, sometimes it gives sorrow. There is something which is inexplicable in the whole thing. But I am not able to say why it is happening that way. So that is why there the necessity of looking inward where it is happening. Because the object per se is external and nothing is happening there. The objects are as it is. The way the light gives the reflection of the objects is that nothing which changes. It reflects the same way to everyone. To some it is pleasant, to some it is sorrow, for some people it is neither sorrow or happiness. So the same object with the same light is giving different experience to different individuals. So why do such a situation happen to different people, and what is that happening? Unless I know from my own, because I can't get into the mind and experience of others and analyze it. This is where the science fails. Science can only do the third party investigation or external investigation. This has to be done by the seeker himself, by looking inward or searching for the experiences while it is happening within us. What is that makes the sense organs input from the world outside become happiness or sorrow, or without any happiness or sorrow for the individual? This you cannot search from the other people. You have to do it yourself. Therefore, you have to take the courage. Therefore, dhimantaha, dhiraha, the one who has the courage to look inwards. Such a person only can see the substratum in which experiences are happy. The experiences are itself reflections which is projected into the substratum from the world outside through the sense organs. The mind is the one which is receiving it, and the mind has the substratum, but it is a reflected substratum. It itself doesn't, because there in the mind also we have happiness, sorrow and other feelings which are coming up. So when the Rishi or the mantra says that Avruta Chakshu Amrudatvam Ichan Pratyagatmanam Aikshat, he saw himself, which Ramana Maharshi says, search who you are, find who you are, is reflected in this mantra. Only when we look inward for whom it is happening, we know who we are. Until and otherwise, we are assuming that I am the seer, I am the taster, I am the touch, I am the one who has the sense or senses, and I am the one who has happiness and sorrow and all these feelings. So it is, while it is happening, I am aware of that. So there is something who is aware of these things happening in within. That awareness or that substratum or that entity which is acknowledging, in which it is having, or it is a witness to these things coming to itself, that can be seen only by searching within itself. No amount of searching outside will end in a positive result or will give you an idea as to why it is happening, because everything that is happening is within us. So the solution has to be seen within us. Explaining further in the same thing, in the same line, the Rishi goes says, Parancha kaman anyuyanti balaha te mrityuryanti vidastasya pasham adhadhiro amrudatvam viditva dhruvam dhruveshu iha na prarthayante. Balaha, the one which is not having the right knowledge. We call Bala such people that who have no discrimination, because they are just slaves of situation or inputs. They get attracted, they get distracted, but they have no capacity to think about the cause and effect or why it is happening. So such people are called Balaha. Anuyandi, Paranch Kaman, they follow the external pleasures. That is why they are called Bala. Because the temptation which is being given by the sense organs is the one which is dragging us to engage with the world outside. So one who cannot discriminate between what is that attraction in the object and who is getting attracted, why it is happening, that dhiratvam, if you don't have, you will be attracted to the external pleasures. Te yanti mrityopasham. They enter into the web of death. Mrityopasham here means momentariness. One happiness or one object and happiness finish. That is dead. Another object comes up. Another object, enjoy or sorrow, again that goes. So Mrityu Pasham is the bondage created out of that impermanency of the object outside. They do not know when they are dragged outside by the sense organs, and they are virtually remaining in the clutches of death, which includes their own identification with the body. Vidatasya viditva dhruvam amrutatvam. One, the wise, dhiraha, vidatasya viditva, that all-pervading nature of dhruvam amrutatvam, that absolute immortality which is there in everything. So if we look at it, why does that vididasya means it is not only inside. Outside also, a dhira, the one who is intelligent enough, wise enough, he sees the permanency in the impermanency. When the mud pot is destroyed, the mud still doesn't get destroyed. When the ornaments are molten, the gold remains the substratum in which the ornaments have come. Even when the waves subside, the ocean from which the waves came have not gone through. These are all, even though relatively permanent and impermanent things, there is a dhruvam amrutatvam, the extreme or the ultimate immortality, in which even the nama rupa of the jagat, the prapancha itself is an appearance, because we have got a short lifetime, so we don't see that, the birth of the prapancha and the death of the prapancha. The prapancha, even if you look at in the time scale, our life of 100 years or 60 years or 100 years itself looks very minuscule compared to the life of the planets and the cosmos, etc. But the one who can see the birth of the cosmos or the birth of the prapancha and the demolition or the dissolving of the prapancha, the appearance and demolition, for him, even that the millions or billions of years of the cosmos or the universe itself becomes momentary. So dhruvam amrutatvam is understood by that dhira who sees that permanency from which even the so-called long cosmos or the universe comes. What to say about the pittance of human life, which is 60 or 100 years of life. So dhiraha athana pratayante, therefore that dhira do not pray for iha adruveshu. He is not at all attracted by the impermanent things which is being brought into his attention by the sense organs. He sees the impermanency of all the sense objects, and he sees the permanency of that dhruvam amrutatvam, the one absolute permanent, the existence from which everything can appear, into which everything goes, and that permanent thing which is amrutatvam is immortality, and it is also dhruvam, beyond which there is nothing else as permanent. So he, knowing that, having viditva, vidatasya viditva, having known that's the universality or the wide what you call the spread of it existing everywhere, he is no more attracted by the impermanent things which are being brought in by the sense organs. Then goes to the next verse. Yena rupam rasam gandham shabdan sparshancha maidunan. Etena eva vijanati kimatra parishishyate. Etadvaitat. Now this is where I said that, it is an answer to Nachiketa. Nachiketa asks, what is that? Tat kim. So here Yama says, Etadvaitat. It is this. This is indeed that. What is that? Yena etena eva vijanati. By this alone, one knows what? Shabdan, sparshan, rupam, rasam, gandham, ritunan. Everything by the five sense organs, shabda, sparsha, rasa, rupa, gandham. All the five sense organs, objects of that, is known, yena vijanati, yena etena eva vijanati. The mind can know these inputs from the five sense organs only in the presence of that. In the absence of that, The body, even with the sense organs, is incapable of sensing anything which is in it. It is touching. You can even burn the body. Nothing is touching the body. He doesn't feel anything. But sense of touch goes, sense of pain goes, sense of smell, eye, everything goes. So that by which these sense organs are able to perceive the light, sound, taste, touch, whatever is left out, kim parishishyade, anything what you can think about it, both external and internal. There is nothing here other than that. In this one, all these things are known or understood or experienced only if that is present in the body. Etad vaitat. That is indeed what you have been asking, O Nachiketa. You have been asking what remains after the body is dead. Etad vaitat. This is that what you have been asking. That which is in the body, through the body, and through with the presence of which only the sound and the other sense organs can have any impact on the body. Here he includes Maithanan for the sensual pleasures also. So all those things can have any relevance only if that is present inside the individual. Avritta chakshu amrutattvamichan. Only when you look inside you can find that is present. Therefore, everything outside is present. When that is not present inside, the world outside is also not there. To give that explanation, the next mantra says, Swapnandam jagaridandam cha ubau yena anupashyadi mahandam vibhum atmanam matva dhiro na shodhati. Beautiful verse. Swapnandam, andar swapne, inside the swapna, or all the experience of dream. Jagaridandam, andar jagarite, means everything what we are experiencing in the waking. Cha ubau, these two. Yena anupashyanti, who realizes that these experiences of the dream and the waking and both. Mahandam vibhum atmanam, the all-encompassing atma, which is vibhutva means it is sarvatra. There is not a corner or not a spot where it is not there. Mahandam means andam mahandam, mahanandam. There is no end to it. Atmanam, that is inside you, is there the same thing which is everywhere. There is no inside and outside from that, the point of view of that Atma, that knowledge or existence awareness. From the Satyajnanam Anandam, from that Satchidananda state, there is no inside. It is only when we refer that I am limited to the body, we have the experience of inside and outside the world. That even if you consider that the Jagrad Avastha, Jagradandam, the world outside is seen as outside in the waking. But when it comes to Swapnandam, there is no world outside. Yet everything as a world is experienced by the individual. So where do you bifurcate between the two? Virtually there is no difference between the experiences of the dream and the virtual experiences of waking. Both are phenomena which are not available in all the time. The experiencer who has been referred in the previous mantra, is the Mahandam Vibhum Atmanam. That Atma is inside. Only if that is present, the world outside as well as the world of the dream can be experienced. Matva dhiro na shodhati. Knowing that, what is that reality which is my nature, the nature of everything, not only when I say my nature, it is not an exclusive property of mine. It is the property of every atom or every molecule in this world. Everything is spread by that. Mahan Vibhum. So everything has got that in it as its own reality or its own nature or its own swarupa. The dhiraha, the one who intelligently analyzes, who thinks about it, matva, knowing that na shochati, he abandons all his sorrow, because there is nothing more to be, sorrowful about it, or nothing to be happy about it. He is everything. When you become everything, then what is there to be coveted by, or what is there to be rejected by? Neither anything can be rejected, nor can anything be coveted. Sorry. So, in that feeling of ekatvam anuvashyata, there is that feeling of oneness, that there is no separatedness, or there is no two separate or the entities outside. Knowing that matva dhiro na shochati, only the one who can think. Here the dhira is being repeated to, he referred to that saying, avritta chakshud, kaschid dhiraha avritta chakshud. That word has to be ringing in our mind. For that, the Rishi of the mantra says that dhiraha is repeated here. Matva dhiro na shochati, knowing that dhira, that nobody, and he doesn't get any more despair to know something. Then the next mantra is also similar to Eda Dvaitat Brahma Nachiketa, being told that Ya imam madvandam Veda Atmanam Jiva Mantikat Ishanam Bhuda Bhavyasya Na Tato Vijugupsate Etad Vaitat. Sa Yaha Vedaha, the one who knows. Now that he in the previous mantra he said Matva dhiro na shochate. That dhiraha, ya vedaha, that same dhiraha, when he knows that imam jivam atmanam, this life, which we call it as jivatma, is atmanam madvadam. Madvadam is a word which is literally meaning tasting honey. Here the word is used to implicate that experiencing of all karma phalas, or experiences of actions and its results. Jiva is the one who is experiencing the actions and results in the presence of Atma. That only when that light is there, that Suprakasha Atma is there, then only that is the time when he feels that he is the enjoyer of the results and actions and all. But Antikat, to be identical with Ishanam, Bhuda Bhavya, from the past and future, na Vijugupsate, he do not get, he is no more desiring that. What does it mean? That knowing that Atma is only a witness, neither the doer of the action, nor the enjoyer of the action, nor the seer or toucher or feeler or sensor by the sense organ, the actions of the sense organs and the enjoyment of those objects, both karmas and karmapalas, are only like a lord. He is sitting there and ordering for the sense organs to perform. But he is not the one who is performing nor enjoying it. It is the one who is fighting the battle for the king, who goes through the pain of wounds and such, and the king is using only the servants. Same way, the sense organs are our servants for operation in the world outside. But the mind which is controlling that, the Senapati, feels that, the suffering and winning is of the mind. But the Lord, Atmanam, Ishanam, Bhuda Bhavyasa, the one who is beyond the present and the future, he is residing in the body or performing through the body, Upadhi Tvena. He is neither acting nor is he enjoying. Etadvaitat, that Atma is what you have been asking, that this is when the person is alive, he is present there as a witness to everything, but he is neither the doer nor the enjoyer. Here the mantra for this, Shankara has explained it, is that using that, the typical feeling which Everyone has that, Surga Kamo Yajeda, the rituals and other things are required for, all those things are only for the body. The Atma is Nisangaha, Nirlepaha. It is neither touched by the karmani, nalibbande. So like that, the karma, the engagement, everything is not for the Atma. The body is the one which is going through the engagement, and hence the problems of engagement and disengagement is all at the body level. Knowing that dhiraha na vijugupsade, the dhira, the intelligent ones, do not cry or do not cry over the things which are happening for the body. Etadvaitat, this is indeed that Atma which you have been asking about, O Nachiketa. Similar in the same line, he is one more example he is going and referring to. Ya purvam tapaso jadamadhya purvam majayata guhyam pravishya tishtantam yo bhuder bhaver pasyataha etadvaitat. Yaha vyapashyata. One who knows Atma as tapasa purva jatam. Tapasa vijijnasasva. So the tapas which is being referred here is to refer that desire of the Hiranyagarbha or the Virat or the Avyakta Atma Brahma, before becoming the Saguna Ishvara, the Nirguna Tattvam, before becoming that, the Veda says that Sa ikshata bahusyam prajayedi. He want to become many. That there the will is not the desire like how human beings have the desire. It is the desire, there is not the desire, there it is as the Mandukya Upanishad says that, Turya Spandanameva. It is just a pulsation within itself. That pulsation cannot be called a will, but for no other word to describe it, the mantra in the Rig Veda says that, Sa ikshata bahusyam prajayedi, let me become many. But did he become many? No, he did not become many. Ajayamano bahuda vijayade. Even without becoming many, he appeared to have become many. So where he says that tapasa purva jatam. So before that intends to become, tapas here is for not the physical tapas which we human beings do, like, Krishna Kritham Chandrayanam, the fasting and doing other type of tapas, which is bodily pain, bodily punishments. It is not that what he is referring to. Here is tapas is from that you have to understand that jnanadi lakshana brahmana ityedat. So that knowledge, when it exhibits itself, it is called tapas. In the Brahma, in the Nirguna Brahma level. That lakshanam, pratamam tapha, jnanadi lakshanad brahmana, of Brahman, of that cosmic Satyajnanam Anandam Brahma, the jnana, the knowledge in the form of an intent, is what is to be taken as a tapasya. Jatam utpannam hiranyagarbham. So therefore, he became the hiranyagarbha, which is thereafter producing the prapancha. So here the tapasa should be taken from that point of view. Yo adbhya purvam ajayataha. Before the water. So in another Upanishad, the method in the process of creation says that from the water, the life came out. Adbhya prithvi ajayataha. So adbhya purvam, even before the creation, Tanmatra creations, the one who is before that, Guham tishtandam bhutebi. Now that is a very important word which we should understand. Bhutebihi means in every creation. Guham tishtandam means Gudena tishtandam. He is concealed himself in every creation. He cannot be seen in the creation, but without him the creation doesn't exist. It is just like space. In space, everything can exist. But space is not seen inside the object or in the object or even in the thing. But without space, nothing can exist. Something similar, Guham Tishtandam Bhutepihi, for in every creation, the presence of that, Etad Vaitad, that indeed is present in every creation, whether you call it as a molecule or a quark or even the entire cosmos or visible universe or invisible universe or multiple universe, whatever want you say, in everything that is spread in which everything exists. So Guham Tishtanti means Gudena Tishtanti. It has not become many. Like the example in the Upanishad where they say that the Gatakasha, Matakasha, the space inside the house or the space inside a school or the surface of the earth, there is no difference between that. It is there through and through. Same way, this one who knows that Vyapashyataha, then for him there is no looking further. Then the next mantra says, Yaha pranena sambhavati atidir devata-mayi guham pravishya tishtantim ya bhuter bhidyadayata. Now, Aditi is the goddess. Devata-mayi is embodied in all devatas. Just as Aditi is in spreading in all the Devata-mayi is because Aditi is the one which is spreading in all the devatas. Ya sambhavati, from where that devatas are born. Pranena ya vijayataha. The prana, here the prana is referring to Atma only. The word prana is just indicating to Atma. Prana ye vyajayata. From prana or the Atman or from where it is appeared to have born. Bhutebi guhayam pravishya. After having entered. Tatrishtua tadeva anupravishad is a mantra which is in the Taittiriya Upanishad. It having created everything, entered it. Now, there is a long discussion about this particular word in the discussion between Shankaracharya and the opponents. They say that having srishted, it entered itself. Now, there is a famous statement, Sangatam Pararthasya. So, if a house is being built by the workers, it is not for the workers to stay, it is for the Yajamana to stay. So, the Yajamana Paraptam is for the Yajamana. Same way, the creation has entered, then how he entered is that he himself created and he entered himself. How this is not possible is the argument of the opposition or the opponents. There, Shankara had very beautiful explanation given where he says that, it is not like a man house on Yajamana entering a house. It is here, it is just like that the Visfulinga, the spark from a fire, entered the spark, can we say that? Or did the wave, when it became wave, did the ocean enter the wave? Did the house, when it was built in the space, did the space enter the house? No. All these things are the one which we have to understand. It is not pararthatvat, it is that way in which so satrushtva tadeva anupravishat. It entered it. Deve bhudebhya guham pravishya. Having entered that every creation, every name and form which you can think about it, Tishtanti, he remains there, the Atma remains in everything. So there is nowhere we can see. It is so uniform and present everywhere, therefore it cannot be seen. Because we cannot see the space because there is no contrast to space. We don't see the space because there is no contrast. Only when a contrast is there, other than that, something is there, we can see the difference between the two and we have the limitation because of the contrast. Now, when Sarvebhya Bhudebhya Guham Pravishaya Saheva Tishtati, it is present in everything which has become, he has become everything. How can we see it separate in anything? No. It is he or that which has become everything. Etad Vaitat. So, this is one thing which we have to understand very, very deeply, and a lot of introspection is required. Aranyor nihito jataveda garba ivasu subruto garbinibhi dive divo hido jagrid vibir havishyan vibhutir anush irishyabi agnihi etadvaitad jataveta nirhitaha aranyah samruddho garba iva garbanihi dive diva idhyo jagridvadbhi havishmadbhi manushebhi etadvaitat. Now, in this one, he is giving an example. Arani is a famous instrument which were used by those old days to create fire. Jataveta stands here for fire. The Agni, Yagnagni. They have a Uttaragni, Adharani. So when they rub two wooden particles, heat is generated and the fire comes out. Now, when you look at that wood pieces, you can't see the Agni there. But in the presence of, when rubbing the two, the fire appears. That it is present as a hidden format in the two wooden pieces. Another example which he says, Garba iva garbani bhi. In the womb of a pregnant woman, the child is present, but it cannot be seen from outside. Neither the child which is inside that garbana knows it is available, it is present there. So, it is guham, that it is hidden from the knowledge, from the external perception. Dive diva idhyo, the daily worshipped Agni which is being brought out by the Arani. Jagridvidbhi, the meditators who are doing the meditation on the Hiranyagarbha, here he is referring to the Virat forma, the Havishmabhihi, the ritualists that who are doing the Havis, Yagnagni, in the Agni. Manushebhihi, those who are doing the human activities of Yajnadana Tavakarma. So all these people are daily worshipping in the form of the Agni, the same entity which is hidden in everything, same way. All the actions, all the reactions, all the fruits of action, everything is that itself. So why should there be a difference need for in that incompleteness within the individuals is because of the ignorance. Etad Vaitad, the one who knows this, he is no more attracted towards these multiplicity which he sees outside. Now the next verse is Yataschedeti surya astam yatrata gacchati tam deva sarve arpitastu natyedi kaschana etad vaitat. Sarve devaha, all devatas, arpitaha, or established, tam, in that, yatacha, from which, surya udeti, cha yatra astam gacchati, na kanchana atyeti. Now here the example of Surya is being given. Surya is having a state from where it comes up, and it goes down in the dusk. Just as the awareness comes when waking, and it goes back into the deep sleep when it is in the end of the waking. Same way the sun rises to to show the world of experiences to us. On the sunset, the entire world is gone and it is no more perceivable. Same way, in his presence, the whole world is experienced as Jagaridandam Swapnandam, as a dream and a waking. When that is in the Astam, when it is sunset or when the setting takes place, nothing is experienced. So this waking of ours every day to experience the world outside and going back to deep sleep is compared like the sunrise and sunset in this one. Nothing exceeds that. Na kaschana atyedi. There is nothing beyond these two. If you look at the world outside, everything is within the sunlight. And inward, if you look inward, only when the awareness comes, we have experienced the dream and the waking. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agni tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya vasa sarvamidam vibhati. There is another very famous mantra which is there in the Gita also. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. In the light of that, even sun cannot enshine that. Chandra tarakam, neither the sun, the moons and the stars has no light compared to that, or these lights can no capacity to lighten that. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. Nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agni. Neither the fire nor the thunder lightning, none of them can light that Atma, which is the one with which the waking and the ending is getting illumined by experience. Tameva bandham anubhadi sarvam. Only in the presence of the Atma, the self-illumining awareness, anubhadi sarvam, everything, even the sun becomes sun only if that Atma is giving the light. Otherwise, even sunlight is insignificant in front of the Atma's light. That is why in some of the experiences there is Surya Koti, Samaprabha. Like 1,000 sun, it shines like that 1,000 suns, because to illumine the sun, if 1,000 suns are there, then only it can be illumined. Like that is the human mind's capacity to think. So tameva bandham anuvati sarvam tasya vasa sarvamidam vibhati. In the light of the Atma only, every experience is there. Etat vaitat. That is the one which we have been asking, O Nachiketa, in all these lives, everything. So, Yama is giving that all sorts of explanation possible so that a student like Nachiketa can understand what is that Atma, which is seen by the Dhiraha, Avrita Chakshu Amrutatvam Icchan. In search of immortality, when he saw it in his own himself, which is everywhere, there is nowhere it can be seen, because that is why it is also Gudam. It is because it cannot be seen, because that is there everywhere. Like the space, without contrast we can see. There is nothing other than that, therefore we can't see it. That is how it is being explained. I'll take the 10th verse onwards in the next class. So I'll stop it here, because that 10th and 11th mantras have to go together. And next Friday, that is day after tomorrow, I won't be taking class because I have some busy arrangement. So we will have it in the next Wednesday, the 10th verse onwards for this chapter, this Valli. We'll stop it here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.